Hi everybody, welcome back. And been a little busy, didn't do any filming while I was doing this, but I'm up in the cab area and they finished off the wall, at least the rough wall. We're still gonna cover this with something and use some Reflectix to make some shielding and keep it a little cooler up in here. But we this seat, the driver's seat, tips forward, so we decided that that would be a good place for the door. So we'll have a door, but when the seat's there, it's not going to be real obvious that there's a way between the front and the back. But oh, there we go. I can tip this seat forward, and it's only 16 inches wide, but squeeze right through and into the back. And I've got the ceiling almost completely up. I've got one board. It started to literally pour last night, so I just stopped. There's just no way. It was like working under a fire hose. So this board will go up in here, and if you've ever worked with tongue and groove, you can see that there's like you get it up and try to push it on, and this little crack will be covered up with walls and whatnot. So what I do is take the inner part of the groove and cut that off, and it'll pop right up in place. So I'm going to do that and get this last one up. What I've been doing is putting it up with a brad nailer, which is my newest toy. Is a little electric brad nailer. And the trouble is, and other people have done this, that when you have brad nails are very thin, they're also called pin nails, there's really not much of a head, and the vibration, all this will come down. So I've got some special screws that I'm going to put up in here to hold it, and we'll get to that. First, let's get the that tongue cut off. Okay, so just cut that one side of the tongue off, and now we will put this up into here, and I got to set you down in order to do that. Ta-da! Ceiling. So you see these wires hanging down. These are for a series of puck lights, and I've got spots marked for potential fans. We're going to put in one fan, but the wire goes down the center, and we're going to put a fan in the back, but there's a possibility of putting another one up front here. Probably not, but it's just right now the tape's just there to mark the where the wire is. So now I got to get the screws, and we'll start putting the screws that are going to be the the main thing to hold this ceiling up. All right, the first thing I'm doing is I marked on the walls just exactly where the rafters are, and I'm just going to put a little light line across here. I could use a chalk line, but that tends to stick around for a while, and I don't want that. This little pencil line will disappear into the stain or paint or whatever gets put up here. So I'm not going to do every rafter, but probably every other rafter, at least to start with. And the screws I'm using are these. They're the screw equivalent of a finishing nail, a rather large finishing nail, but they are trim head screws. And this ones I happen to pick up at Lowe's. I'm sure there's a lot of different brands. Use these a lot in carpentry or in cabinetry. If you want, you don't want the big screw heads showing, because this is what you end up with, a tiny little hole. And I'm gonna get a little plastic wood, a little filler, and the ones on the walls will fill. Ones in the ceiling, I'm not sure yet, we'll see. But this is just gonna give it that extra little bit of hold to keep it up there. So let me get putting those up. There's, I forget how many boards across, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rafters if I want to do that, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I've got 200. So I think I got enough to do every single rafter, but let's start with just every other one. Well, you get the general idea of putting these little screws in to hold the ceiling up. Nice little screws, and these will definitely come in handy when I start doing some more of the cabinetry, but I still got to finish half the ceiling. Downside, I get a crick in my neck and it's like only 10 o'clock in the morning. But let me get this finished, and I can check off the ceiling and move on to the next thing. Oh, that's not bad. It's just a little after 11 o'clock, and I got the ceiling all screwed up there. Well, attached, not screwed up, it's attached. And the only spot that I did every rafter, because I'd staggered the joints, and it meant every rafter except for this one right down the center has some butts. I could have just done where the two boards meet, but I did them all. I didn't do this one. There's going to be cabinetry here holding this part up and that part. So I may do a couple in the middle, but I don't really think that's needed. All right, time to move on to get that wall up. And I'm doing garages. This wall actually is going to move in a little bit. I put it up temporarily just to get an idea of that space so that she could really get a feel for it. And we decided it's a little big. Well, the back wall is 27 inches, which means I got a 21-inch piece. So I'm going to make it 21, and the 21-inch piece that I cut off of the sheets of plywood become shelves on the two sides. So trying to use all the wood, you know, don't leave anything left around. And the inner walls are 24 inches, so I just split a sheet of plywood. All right, so let me get doing that. All right, you okay down there? Get up here. All right, well, I've built a couple of cabinets here. This is storage garage just inside the door, 2 foot deep, 24 inches wide, or 21 inches wide. I attached it with pocket screws, ceiling, wall, and floor. This, once I added, especially once I added in these shelves, these are rock solid. These are not going anywhere. One on either side. I said, 2 shelves at this point. We can add more shelves, depends on what she wants to store in there. But right now, everything's sort of in flux as to the rest of the floor plan. And I really got to get her pinned down. We've gone round and round about different things, and the just where things are going to be located. You know, there's not a lot of space. There's the bathroom, there's a kitchen on this side, toilet on this side, but don't want that with the next to the kitchen, but don't want it next to the bed. I mean, there's only so much room. So, and it comes down to like which water tank and how big a water tank. All these things, the big things, where the shower is going to go, where the kitchen is going to be, where the water tank is, are real important before I start building cabinetry, because cabinets that clear the wheel wells are totally different than cabinets that don't. If the kitchen's down here, you know, anyway, there's round and round. Hopefully by the next video, I will be building cabinets, because we will have a floor plan locked in, one way or the other. All right, I'll see you the next time. And remember, this is not a how-to. This is how I'm doing it for her. So take it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, YouTube.